ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Chase for the race, race for the chase. Just an hour into the Lucky Dog Racing League Podium Endurance Road Race at the Ridge Motorsports Park, the Blue Cheetah's Mustang fuel tank issues have forced the team to make an early pit stop.
We've got about 18 gallons of capacity and we're only able to use 12. Right now we're pitting about every hour on the hour. That very well could cost us the race.
Brandon Fisher is taking over the reins of the Ford from Jimmy Schauber. The Blue Cheetahs came into the pits in third place. The time spent refueling the car dropped them to 7th place overall.
It's tough to say really how it plays out. It depends on how everybody else does with their fuel consumption.
Just shy of 2 hours into the race, Craig Merrill is replacing David Fosberg in the Barebones Racing Miata Half Pint.
We're in the top 15 right now, so that's right where we need to be. We're not going to win the race in the first stint. This is a marathon. We don't want to be in the paddock broken down because we got hit or had contact with another car.
For Craig, racing at the Ridge is a victory in itself.
I was involved in a pretty bad car accident back in '99. I broke 9 bones. I had a severe traumatic brain injury. I was in the hospital in the ICU for a week.
When Craig had his accident, they weren't sure how he was going to come out from it. And seeing him in a car, racing, doing what he loves, it really makes me proud to be part of the team. He's not only just racing, but he's doing a great job. Craig puts down some very consistent lap times, and Craig is a great driver.
Luckily, they bolted me together with some pretty good stuff, so nothing came back apart again.
Brandon has hustled the Blue Cheetahs Ford up into 5th place overall. He's now returning to the pits for another premature feeding of the Mustang and to hand the car over to Mike Burnett.
Car is, super confidence inspiring, predictable. So the key is continue to run quick, but still continue to conserve the car in terms of, brakes and tires.
Mike will be playing catch-up in the Mustang, for the team has dropped to 8th place overall after the pit stop. Pit lane and the paddock have become littered with cars that have suffered mechanical failures.
I think their oil pump isn't doing right things. It's got some weird clacks in it.
Breakdowns become as inevitable as night and day.
When you go and talk to the team and you ask them, has anybody worked on their car during the off season and the winter? Usually what we hear is,
no, we ran out of time. We figured we'd change the fluids and take our best shot.
We came in, got everything prepped, and went out for the first practice lap and blew up the motor.
It looks like the frost plug blew out, and then all the oil decided to evacuate somehow, and so we're going to wreck her for a new one.
what we usually see is at the first race, they've not done much to their car, and they're simply taking chances and hoping that they'll get lucky. And as you saw, many of the field had no luck at all.
For the Blue Cheetahs, another pit stop for gas, another driver change. Phil Frank is now piloting the Mustang, which is currently in 7th place overall, 4 laps behind the leader, the Praying Mantis BMW.
In your first stint out there, you don't know who you're going to be coming up against, so you have to be cognizant of 360 degrees around you, and you have to be aware of what's going on in every situation. You've got to give it 110% of your concentration.
Barebones Racing Miata Half Pint is in 5th place in the B class, 13th overall, when Craig makes his pit stop to hand the Mazda over to teammate Brent Reno.
72 other cars on the track is a lot of traffic, it's a lot of fun. So you see a fast car come up on you, you just, well, hey, I hope they're not in my class because they just passed me, and so did 5 other cars. But once in a while, I'll get up to a group of cars and go by them.
During the first day of the Lucky Dog Racing League Podium Endurance Road Race at the Ridge Motorsports Park, the Flying Lumberjacks racing team heroically has replaced a blown engine in their Volkswagen in just a few hours.
It is alive! Look at those guys. It's all those guys.
Miraculously, the Flying Lumberjacks were able to find a junkyard engine for their Volkswagen station wagon.
It feels good to know that, we bolted it all together, hit the start button, it started on the first try in like 2 or 3 cranks, and it was done.
With a never say never attitude, the Flying Lumberjacks turned defeat into personal victory. In a little over 4 hours, they were able to replace the blown engine and get on the track for the first time today. But if it weren't for bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all.
Got back on the track a little after 3 in the afternoon. Seems to be running fine. Then we snapped the front axle.
Brandon Fisher is back in the driver's seat of the Blue Cheetah's Mustang. Since the drop of the green flag, the team has been struggling with fuel cell issues in their Ford, forcing them to make 3 extra time-robbing pit stops.
A little frustrated. We're only able to run the top half, top 2/3 of the tank because we're, the car's running so well, we're having pickup issues.
Despite having one of the fastest cars in the track, the Blue Cheetahs have fallen several laps behind the A-Class and race-leading Praying Mantis BMW. Meanwhile, the Barebones Racing team have been a picture-perfect definition of consistency. Brent Reno has handed off Half Pint to Chris Foreman for the last driving stint and the final push to the checkered flag.
We're not the quickest car in the circuit. As long as we can keep our momentum up and stay out of trouble, we make up a lot of time.
With less than an hour left in the day, the team is 40 seconds behind the 3rd place car in the B class, the number 99 Honda. During their final pit stop of the contest, Mike Burnett gets back into the Blue Cheetah's Mustang for the final driving stint of the day. Without warning, the Ford has developed other mechanical issues.
You can feel the left front wheel bearing. You just feel it. You feel it loading up. I think it's fine. It's gonna make it through the end of the race. You feel it loading up. You just hear it, boom, boom.
In order to finish, Mike must conserve the Mustang for the rest of the race. To add insult to injury, Chris in the Barebones Racing Miata has passed the Blue Cheetah's Mustang to take 10th place overall.
So whenever we can take it to a big V8 car, especially in the corners, they're going to blow by us in the straightaway, but if we can bring it to them in the corners, that's where we have a lot of fun, and we ended up getting ahead of them.
As the first day of the Lucky Dog Racing League Podium Road Race comes to an end, the remaining cars return to the pits where they will make their preparations for part 2 of the endurance race.
We felt like we had a really good race from driver to driver. We were consistent. The car performed fantastic. We got great tire wear.
Finishing 4th in class and 10th overall. Can't complain about that.
The Blue Cheetahs started the day with high hopes. but mechanical problems surrendered the team to a 6th place in the A class, 11th overall finish.
Just know that you have an easily a top 3 car, somewhere in that mix anyway. It's pretty frustrating, absolutely.
For both teams, tomorrow is a new day and another Lucky Dog Racing League race to run.
Without this fuel problem, we're competing for the win. You know, we're right up there for a top spot. So we'll get that figured out and come back next race.
We kept it out on track. We didn't have any major incidents. No major repairs have to be done to the car. And we're ready to go for tomorrow.
Next on CHASIN RACIN.
These teams are really, really amped up. It's their second chance to redeem themselves.
Just bumper to bumper for the first few laps. Cars coming out in front of me, cars hitting each other.
Now it's all about being consistent, getting some good laps in, and running all the way to the checkered flag.
We want to finish first in class, keep the car running, shiny side up, they say.
Every time we're in the pits, so there's 4 laps.
Are you on track? Are you okay?
Next on CHASIN RACIN.